Are you a virtual teacher that needs to figure out how to up their teacher game by utilizing integrated teacher tech websites like Peardeck or Nearpod? Are you kind of confused on which one you should sink your money into? Well, my friends, I'm going to share with you my thoughts between Peardeck and Nearpod. But first, hello, my name's Sirena from sincerelysirena.com. If you want to know how you can up your teaching game by learning tips, tricks, and inspiration, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know how you can jumpstart your Outschool career and be in charge of your own salary, let me know in the comments below or email me. And as always, I know that your time is precious, so I will put timestamps down in the description box, as well as link pertinent videos in the description box or the iCards. Trust me, guys, I was on the struggle bus for at least 2 weeks trying to figure out one or both of these platforms on how I know that people are using these and they love them, but I just was kind of unsure on how I should use them in my virtual classroom. And I'm going to share with you what each of them is, what they offer for their free accounts, what they offer for their paid accounts, and where I think you, my online teaching friends, should spend your money or your time. Okay, so first let me say that Nearpod and Peardeck both have fantastic customer support. You can get on each website, you can get into their chat and be directed to a customer support person that will help you. I personally had problems with Nearpod, and their customer support actually gave me a refund because, you know, I could not use their program the way that I needed to, which I think is really cool. Both Nearpod and Peardeck both have pre-made lessons in their library, but I'm not exactly sure how that licensing is, especially for an Outschool teacher. So before you go in and use those pre-made lessons in your Outschool classes, make sure you contact Peardeck or Nearpod to ask if you do have license to share that in your Outschool classroom, because we are not working for school districts. So I don't know how they do that. I personally stay away from that because I don't want to get into a legal mess. I personally just create my own lessons within each interface. Both allow for integrations and engagement for both student-paced lessons as well as live classes. And yes, there is a whole setup and directions that you need to share with your students in order to have a successful live Nearpod or Peardeck. But if you are able to do that successfully, it makes for a really fun and engaging lesson. So Nearpod was the first integrated, engaging thing. Nearpod was the first integrated teacher tech platform that I sought to use in my virtual lessons. I actually used Nearpod first to create a video and put interactive questions within my video and shared with one of my cooking class that I have in Outschool, which turned out really great because I can go back to that video and with those questions and look at the data and read my student responses. It was really great, and I was going to utilize that integrative, interactive video for my Women of Hamilton classes, but I found out that they had a short memory upload for your videos. So just like Outschool, they only allow for 100 MBs for memory when you upload your videos. They do allow for YouTube videos to be uploaded and linked into Nearpod. I kind of uploaded my Women of Hamilton videos up to YouTube and make them unlisted and do it that way. But since I had a lot of copyrighted images in my lesson, although I am using it in a fair use way, YouTube bots said I had a copyright strike, so I couldn't do it that way. So that's when I looked for other things. So I have a separate tutorial if you want to know, the steps and stuff. But I mean, it's very easy to get in there and create your lessons. So let's talk about what Nearpod has to offer. They basically have the ability to create interactive lessons. You can have a Google Slides integration. So you can create a lesson in Google Slides and have certain slides be integrated with 4 engaging questions that your student will respond to right in that lesson. You can create lessons within Nearpod, very similar to Google Slides, but just using the Nearpod slide presentation situation in there. You can also, like I said, use videos for interactive videos, and then they have a gamified feature called Time to Climb. So Time to Climb is very similar to Kahoots, so it is a gamified interface, but I like Kahoot better. I'm just gonna say it. I like Kahoots better than Time to Climb. Let's talk about the pay tiers and what you get for free.
Pricing guide. The silver is your free account that you get that you don't have to pay, and then it goes up from gold to platform, and then you guys see how much they cost. Gold is $120 per year, platinum is $340, and then of course if you work for a public school district, then they will have a custom one. The things that I want you guys to look at, and what kind of caught me up, because when I was trying to upload my videos that were more than 100 MBs, I thought that if I started paying for gold, I could upload videos with at least 1 gigabyte. So I thought that was easy, like that would just solve all of my memory issues, but that's not the case. In order to upload a video onto Nearpod, your videos must be under 100 MBs, and this storage right here is just storage. It's not the amount of video file you can upload. I think things to point out, if you are going to go towards the Nearpod instead of Peardeck or whatever, look at how many sessions you get per your account. So your silver sessions, you would get 40 sessions, so 40 lessons. So if you were not going to be teaching very much, silver would probably be okay. And then it goes up to 75 and then 90, and then of course upwards as you start paying. The one thing that you would get when you start paying that you don't get in silver that I think would probably make a difference is your Google Slides add-on. You do not get to have a Google Slide add-on with the free account. You must start paying to do that with gold.
You must have a gold membership in order to have integrated Google Slides. And even with a gold membership, your students have to have a Google account to participate in your Nearpod Google Slides, which kind of is a drawback, especially for Outschool. And the more you pay, the more sessions you get. I ultimately stopped using Nearpod because of how much easier Peardeck was and how much easier it was to build a Kahoot game. I think Nearpod is great if you were able to utilize the things that are in there and you don't mind having your students have to have a Google account. So if you are already in like Google Classroom, I think Nearpod is a fine situation, but you do have to pay for that Google Slide integration. Okay, so let's talk about Peardeck. Peardeck is very similar to Nearpod, and they do have pre-made lessons in there, but again, make sure you reach out to Peardeck to see if you can utilize them in your Outschool classroom. They allow for live lessons as well as student-paced lessons. They even have a flashcard builder, which I think is pretty cool, especially if you have facts that you have to share with your students, if they have to memorize things like, multiplication tables, math facts, spelling words, or sight words. I think using a flash deck within Peardeck is a really cool feature. I think Peardeck is very generous with their free plan. They go above Nearpod, whereas they allow the Google integration with their free plan.
Your basic account, you get to do all these things like quizzes, polls, you get to do interactive questions. You also get any integrations with Google or Microsoft, pretty much some really cool things. And you also get Flashcard Factory. Let me know if you use Flashcard Factory. I would love to know. And then when you start paying, you do get more. So the difference between free and paying, with free, unlike Nearpod, you get the Google integration, but there are some limitations on that, which I really don't care, honestly. So here I am on my Google Slides, and here is my Peardeck integrations. So these are the things that I can integrate into my Google Slides. I do have a whole separate tutorial on this that you can go view. I'm not going to get into all of these things, but I want to show you what you can integrate and what you have to pay for. So with these integrations, you can ask a question and you can have the students type in their answers. If it's a comprehension, an opinion-based question, you can have them choose 1 out of 4. You can also have them put a number or give you a website. What you would have to start paying for is if you want them to draw on the slide, or if you want to add drag and drop features, which, drag and drop features are pretty cool, especially if you do a lower elementary school crowd, I think that's really awesome. Or if you do sped classes, I think this draggable thing is really cool, which I might start paying for. Another thing that you would have to pay for is also the audio to slide. Which I don't really think that you should need it, because you can record audio and add it onto your Google Drive outside of Peardeck, like save it onto your Google Drive and then add it to your slides. Or you can even do video, which that's how I do my flexible classes, is I add my videos to my Google Slides instead. But I mean, that's really all like you would have to pay for are those 3 features, which I mean is not a big deal right now. I think they are very generous with their free account.
They also allow for students to join any lesson anonymously. They do not have to have a Peardeck account. They do not have to have a Google account to join the lesson, which I think is awesome. Using the Google add-on with Peardeck was really easy to use, to integrate. It was super, super easy, and it was easy to collect the information at the end of the lesson after all the students have gone through the lesson to get that data to know how my students did. I love that I have the option to upgrade and have the option to drag and drop, which I think is awesome, especially if you teach little ones. Not having a gamified version like Nearpod has with their Time of Climb is not a big deal, since I have found Kahoots, and Kahoots is free. So not having a gamified thing within Peardeck was not a big deal for me. So as of right now, they do not have a integrated video feature like Nearpod does, but I was able to kind of hack Google Slides by uploading my video to my Google Drive, putting that video into my Google Slide, and then having a Peardeck slide follow like places where I edited my video for interactions. So it looked like the student will go into a Google Slide presentation, they will watch my beginning video, and that video will run and then stop, and then the student will hit the next slide, and then my Peardeck interactive slide comes up and asks them to answer a question. After they answer that question, they will press next again on the slide, and then my video will continue. And then that pretty much is like the whole Peardeck lesson that I built for my Women of Hamilton Flex class for Outschool. Okay, so overall opinion, Peardeck I think wins. I love that they have a flashcard maker. The downside is they don't have that gamified interaction built in, but like I said, Kahoot is free and I could just use Kahoot instead of the Time for Climb. Another downside is they don't have built-in video integration. I had to kind of hack the Google Slides, but that was not hard to figure out either. So if you are familiar with Google Slides and you are familiar with using Kahoot, there is no need to even probably learn Nearpod, especially because in order to get Nearpod Google Slide integration, you would have to pay for their account. Now, if you are a brick and mortar teacher and you work for a school district, both Peardeck and Nearpod looks like they have accounts for school districts. So before you shell out your own money, I would contact your school district, whoever is head of your technology or your building or whoever you need to talk to. Ask them if the school district or your school that you teach at already has a Peardeck or a Nearpod account. That will probably open up a plethora of options that you do not have to pay for. Okay guys, I hope that is clear. Is it clear as mud? I don't know. I really encourage you to learn the teacher tech tools, especially if you are an Outschool teacher, because learning and integrating these tech tools successfully in your classroom will not only up your teacher game, but make you more marketable and I feel like more fun for the modern student that is out there today. Students have been doing virtual learning in some capacity since February of 2020. And so they need a little bit more interaction, more fun things to do while they are, virtual learning with you. Okay guys, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know how you use teacher tech tools in your own virtual classroom. Thank you guys, bye.